So I'm finally going to be trying out GoodNotes 4 on the iPad Pro, specifically for, I'm using this on my iPad Pro 10.5 inch, and I just wanted to test out how it works with the Apple Pencil, and kind of how it stacks up against other note-taking devices that I use. In particular, apps like Notability and OneNote. So let's just jump right into it. So this is going to be kind of like a walkthrough, and I'm just going to kind of give you my opinion about the things that I like, and I don't like with this note-taking app, and a little bit of how it compares to other note-taking apps, but I feel like that could be its own separate video, so I won't go in too much detail about that, but just give you a quick run-through of what I like and what I don't like. So the first thing when you click on the app is this home screen. And you can see I have 3 different notebooks here right now. So the first thing I'm actually going to teach you guys how to do is how to delete a notebook. Because you can see here I have a notebook called GoodNotes Test, because I already tried making this video and the audio didn't come through. So this is my second run at it. So I'm just going to delete this GoodNotes Test and start over. So the first thing you want to do is, if you want to delete a notebook, obviously if you're first doing this you wouldn't have created a notebook, but let's just say, I'll just teach you right now. You just click Edit, you select the notebook you want, then you just click Trash, and it goes away. So that's pretty easy. Then you click Done and you're good to go. So the first thing I want to teach you to do is how to create different categories. So you can have a master category and you can have different categories within that. So you click on categories here. You click on the plus sign. Now you can create a category or a master category. So if you create a master category, let's just call this YouTube. Click OK. Then you can see in the YouTube master category, you can put other categories. So this is kind of like having dividers and within the dividers having different subjects. And that's how Notability works, at least. Or what I like to think about these categories, essentially binders. So this is one binder, and then within the binder you can have your different dividers or subjects, whatever you want to call them. So within here you can add a new category and call it GoodNotes Test. We'll click OK. And now you have GoodNotes Test within your YouTube master category. So let's go in this category. You see we have nothing here. So what we're going to do is we're going to tap this plus here to create a notebook. And then you can choose your covers. Well, this is one of the things I really liked about GoodNotes, is they have a huge variety of covers that you can choose from. And it's really nice. They give a lot of really nice options. So I chose calm in the first run, so I'm going to choose something dark in the second time around. So let's choose dark 3. That looks pretty good. Then you can choose your paper, and the paper sizes and the styles are plentiful, and they're really nice. I really like that GoodNotes does this. So you can choose, one of the most interesting things I thought was that you can choose different types of music papers. So here you have a music paper, and then you also have to choose your orientation here, because when you flip your orientation with your iPad, the paper orientation won't flip with you. That's something that Notability does and OneNote does, but GoodNotes doesn't do that. So right now, just to show you what that means, I'm going to choose a portrait orientation for the paper. So right now, ruled paper, just like a regular notebook. But as you're going to see, when we actually start writing on here, the way I'm recording this, my iPad is actually in landscape mode. So it's going to seem a little strange because the paper is not going to take up the whole screen. So let's just call this test GoodNotes Test, like I called it last time. Capitalize that T there. And we'll create it. So you can see here, the notebook isn't taking up the whole screen because I'm in landscape mode, but the orientation I chose for my notebook and my paper is portrait. So that's why you see the gray bars on the side here and here. So the first thing, let's just start writing on here. So you have a few different pen options here. So the standard colors that they give here aren't that many. Now you can make your own custom ones. And so you can, enter color, thickness, and kind of create your own custom fonts. But I just found that to be this is too many options here, and the presets are too little options for me. I wanted something that was kind of in the middle. So, I mean, this is nice that you can really choose what shade you want and the exact thickness, and we can start writing here. But I wasn't too happy with the way it presented the colors to you like this. I mean, I felt like it was a little much. I wish they had just given like a decent amount of different colors and provided this grid here, this gradient for you to choose the exact shade you wanted. But the presets that they provide here, I felt like, first of all, the colors that they provided for the presets are really tacky looking. I didn't really care for them much, and there weren't enough. But it is nice that you can you can custom choose the thickness by sliding this thing here and choosing your like the particular shade you want for your color. So it does give you a lot of options, but the way it was presented, I wasn't too big of a fan of. But anyway, so now we have our cover settled. Now to add a page to the okay, so this is one of the things that I wasn't really too excited about with GoodNotes. Is that to add a page, you have to swipe to the left. So I'm going to swipe to the left here, and you pull, and there's your new page. So the reason why I don't like this is because, as far as I can tell, and at least at the time of recording of this video, GoodNotes doesn't allow you to like just scroll between all your pages. You're gonna have to keep swiping. So if I add another page here and another page here, so let's label this. So this is page 3, this is page 2, and this is page 1. Now to get between the two pages, I have to actually physically swipe left and right, which was kind of annoying. I would prefer a more continuous scroll, like a vertical scroll, like you're on a website, you're scrolling down to read, like you see in OneNote and Notability. I feel like that's a lot more intuitive and a lot more user-friendly than swiping left and right like you're going through your pictures. But it is what it is, I suppose, and that's basically how you add different pages and how you can swipe between them. So the writing experience on with GoodNotes is actually really great. I was really blown away by how easy it is to write and how natural it feels. So one of the things I noticed about Notability, I thought this was an Apple Pencil problem, but I found out it was actually a Notability problem. That when you write with Notability, your letters will tend to connect a little bit. And that's just because that's how Notability, I guess, uses the Apple Pencil. But with GoodNotes, your letters don't connect that easily. All right, I'm just going to switch this. Let's go to the presets. I'm going to switch this thing to here so it's thinner. But the thing is that the ink doesn't keep going after you let go. It stops, which I really liked. This is even a more natural writing experience than what I thought Notability offered. I thought Notability offered an amazing writing experience. Yeah, I liked it so much. I liked it even better than regular writing on paper. But this is a lot better than what Notability offers in terms of a writing experience. And you can choose between a fountain pen or a ball pen. Now, I prefer the fountain pen, but you can also write with a ball pen. So let me just write something. So this is the ball pen. Now, the ball pen writes a little bit more smoothly. The fountain pen felt really, really nice when I was using it, and that's definitely my pen of choice. So let's actually just switch this color to black. And you can see right here that right now when I'm writing, the lines are kind of small. GoodNotes has this amazing zoom feature. I know Notability also has a zoom feature, but GoodNotes' zoom feature is a lot better in my opinion. So let me just show that. So you just click anywhere here until zoom comes up. You click on zoom. And now I'm just going to start writing, and I want you to see what happens. So I'm going to continue to write. Now you can see on the left that now all I have to do is start writing there. Now all I have to do, and I just keep writing there, and it creates the new line for me. Start writing there, and then I am good, and then I just go back here and it starts a new line for me. And that is a really seamless writing experience. I really want to give props to GoodNotes for doing that, because that was really intuitive and it was really easy to use. I didn't have to like look and move this thing around. It was just ready to go and really easy for me to use. You have all these options too to change your margins, see how many lines you can skip after each time. So it's really nice. Auto advance, which is what it's doing, and it was just so much fun to take notes like this. But then the problem, like I said before, is when you have to get to your next page, you can't scroll up or down. See, I'm trying to scroll up or down, it's only going left or right. So you have to swipe to the next page, which was really frustrating because I couldn't just take a quick peek at what I wrote the line above. So if I'm writing here, and I wanted to see what was above me, I would have to scroll left. I can't just pull down and pull back up like you can do on Notability. Now, the other really thing I loved about GoodNotes is the eraser feature. So this is better than even having an eraser on the Apple Pencil. This feature is so amazing. I don't understand why Notability doesn't have it or OneNote doesn't have it. But what happens is, so if I'm writing something, let's just make a doodle here because I don't feel like writing anything. So let's just make a doodle and I just write actually I'll just write YouTube. Now, when you click on the eraser, what you do is you erase whatever you want. So I'm going to erase this. Now, as soon as I let go of my pencil from the screen, it automatically switches back to the pen. So I don't have to keep clicking this, and then eraser, and then pen, and then eraser, and going back and forth and back and forth. And that saves a lot of time when you're writing. I mean, that saves more time than when you're writing with a pen and pencil, or a pencil and an eraser, because on real paper, because you have to, either flip your pencil around or pull out an eraser and erase, and then write with your pencil again. But with this one, you just click pencil once, and then you just go back to writing. And that is a killer feature in my opinion. That was a great feature, and GoodNotes does cost, I think, $7.99 for the iOS version and $7.99 for the Mac OS version. So that is $2 cheaper than Notability. But that feature right there is really great. And another great feature that GoodNotes has is that you can search your handwritten notes. If I click on search and I type just, okay, well, I guess it can't write that. Usually it can recognize it. Okay, if I type in go, sorry, so I guess that was, it doesn't recognize all handwriting, I suppose. But if I type go, there we go. You can see that right here, it recognized my handwriting. Right here, it recognized my handwriting. I think so. I'll write sing here because I've written that already. So now if I type in sing in the search, there it is, and it pops up. So the fact that it can recognize my written notes, that is an amazing feature too. I mean, I don't understand why Notability doesn't have this yet, but I mean, that is such a great feature. And I really love GoodNotes for doing that. Oh, yes. So Notability, what you can do with Notability is you can draw a straight line. Here, let's just go to the next page. You can draw a straight line on Notability, and it'll make it, or you can draw a line, and it'll straighten it out for you. GoodNotes has ink to shape, which I actually prefer to just straightening out your line. So if you click on this shape button in the top left, I just clicked on it right now. And now if I draw a line, okay, no, and it straightens the line. So when you draw a line on OneNote, it doesn't even straighten your line. You have to draw an actual shape. But the thing is with OneNote, you can have ink to shape on and still write normally. But with GoodNotes, if I start writing, it'll start converting all my letters to shapes. So you can watch. You can watch. So that's annoying because the reason why I like ink to shape on OneNote is because what you can do is you can do like your whole math problem. So 3 plus x equals 5, x equals 2, and then I want to box it, and I want the box to look nice. So I have ink to shape on at all times, and it only makes the box look good on OneNote, that is. But on GoodNotes, if I want to box it, I'll have to do this, then I'll have to click ink to shape, then I can box it. Okay, well, it didn't even make a box, so let's see. I'll just box this instead. Oh my god, it needs to make a straight box. And then it boxes it. Okay, so I guess it's a little bit more finicky, the shapes you're making. It doesn't like, on OneNote, what you can do is you can just draw any box and it'll make it into a box. It won't make any of these weird shapes. But, the ink to shape feature isn't as good, I think, as OneNote, but at least it has it, and Notability doesn't have it. So, I still think that it's a nice feature that GoodNotes offers. Because Notability doesn't, and I use Notability primarily right now. So I already talked about the paper templates and how there were a lot of them. You can switch your paper templates in the middle here. So like if I want to suddenly change my paper template, I just go to Options. There is a way to do it, but I just don't I don't see how right now. I know there was one, I know for sure, but now I can't seem to remember how. So let's just go through some of the other features that you can that GoodNotes offers. So you have, kind of the standard stuff. You have a highlighter here. So you can just, if you need to highlight stuff, you can change the thickness of that, make this highlight more or less. Standard stuff like that. The eraser I already mentioned was nice. You can change the size of it. So this is really big, but I prefer the standard one. Here's the auto deselect option where it automatically deselects the eraser when you're done using it. And erase entire stroke. I like that that's an option too, because if you don't want to, you can just erase part of stuff. So I can just erase, where's the eraser? Why is the eraser so big? Let's make it small. Okay, so I can just erase like a part of the X here, or part of the equals, or half of the 5. You know what I mean? So I think that's a nice tool. Usually I like erasing the whole stroke, so I leave that on. But it's nice that you have that option. Then you have the lasso tool, which is, the lasso tools are pretty great across all the note-taking apps that I've tried so far. So you can just select it, then you hold it down, then you can, take a screenshot, resize, because they're saved as vector images. So you just resize this as big as you want, and then it does lose some of its quality to, well, I don't think it should. Maybe yeah, there you go. It fixes the quality because these are vector images, so it shouldn't lose its quality. And then, if I select something else again, if I select this O, you can, resize it. I already did color, change the color of it to green or something. You can convert it into text. Converting into text, I did not know that was an option, so let me try that here really quick. So I'm writing, let me get rid of, so take off into shape, I'm writing this. Then I'm going to select it and convert it to text, and then I guess you can share it. So that's kind of a neat feature. I didn't even know that was a thing. So you can convert that. You can cut it, copy it, delete it. So the copy and paste feature, I always love copy and paste features with lassos, because then you can just paste it here, and then I can select it, resize it, move it around, make it big, put it there, leave it, and I'm good to go. So the lasso tool is really great. But Notability's lasso tool is also really good. So that's not, anything new or, extraordinary. Then you have this readability mode right here. So right next to the lasso, you click on this. This is where you make your document readable only. So get to the menu bar at the top, and it's like you're reading a regular PDF. And you click in the center again, and then you can turn it off or turn it back on. And on all the way on the left, we have this little grid that shows you all your thumbnails for your notes. So I guess this is an easy way to jump between the different pages you have in your notes. You can create bookmarks. I'll show you that in a second. And you can look at your PDF outline. So bookmarks is in this plus side here. So you can add images, text box, bookmarks, pages below, pages above, import PDFs or documents above or below. So if I just want to bookmark this, I bookmark it. Just call it B for bookmark. Then when I click on here and I click on my bookmarks, I can see a B. So I guess when you label your bookmarks, I thought it would show a thumbnail, but it just shows B, and then it goes to it. So if I click on that and I click on B, there it goes. And then I should be able to delete the bookmark too. Yeah, you can just hold it down and click delete, and it goes away. If you're using this for school, which is what I'm basically using my iPad for, you have to know how you want to import, your lecture slides. Mainly, that's it, your lecture slides, because that's sometimes one of the most important things you need in a note-taking app. So let me just show that really quick. That's in my uncategorized category. So right here, this is just some lecture slides that I found. Now, these are the actual slides themselves from PowerPoint. So if you want, you can, highlight stuff when you're in lecture if you don't need to take notes. So that's kind of convenient here. Let me change this color so you can see it better. Oh no, that's gonna bleed with the thing. But you can write anything you want in the margins here. You can circle stuff. You do whatever you need to with the lecture slides. Now, what I would suggest is if your professor or your teacher, if you're in high school, gives you some lecture slides that you can use, I would convert them into printouts that have the margins on the side. I personally don't like writing on this. The only reason I would choose this is because some of my professors have blank spaces in the lecture slides. So like if I'm here, they would say president and then they leave a blank. Just pretend this is blank, and then you have to write in Herbert Hoover here. But that's only some of my professors do that. Most of the time, what you see is that you want to use your lecture slides like this. So if you go to PowerPoint, you can go File, Print, and you can print it as a handout, I believe. And then instead of actually printing it, you can open it on the Mac. At least you can open it in Preview, or you can download it and open it on Adobe Acrobat on Windows or even Mac. But basically, what this allows you to do is take notes in the margins. So let me see if I can get this here. So I can start taking notes here, and then so it has a little bit of trouble when you do the zoom in feature in this case because it doesn't recognize the lines, but it still works pretty well. You can see how it's about to switch. And then it moves over. So yeah, it's not as good as its own thing, but you can always just manually zoom in here and start taking notes. So that's nice. Another thing you can do is you can add, I added this in my Physics 118 textbook just to show that you can add it right in the middle of your other textbook. So right here, if you just click import above or import below, you'll be able to do that. I just airdropped it from my Mac actually to my iPad, so I didn't click import above or import below. When I airdropped it, my iPad asked me if I wanted to open it in GoodNotes or other applications, and I chose GoodNotes for this video. That's just a blank page. You can scroll through here, and I'll show you the paper option that I usually use is this paper, but you can see how I actually take notes with this. So this is zoomed in, but if it's zoomed out, this is some physics homework that I was just, or some practice problems I was doing. I didn't need to save it, so I just kept it here. Okay, so I did change the paper here. If I click here, click add below, then you can change your paper. So I'm going to change it to squared paper, and now I have squared graph paper that if I need that. Okay, so another thing I wanted to show you was if you saw that image earlier, let me just click on here, thumbnails. So I imported an image that I took on campus. I took this photo on my iPhone, and what you can do is the image editing is really nice. The way you can move it, crop it, etc. So all you have to do is hold it down, click edit. Now you can move this, you can resize it to however much you want. You can crop it even. So let's just crop it so we only get the field open part. And we'll click done. And there you go. Now you just have field open. Make that bigger or smaller. You can do whatever you want. And we'll just leave it there for now and pretend that's part of my notes. So it's really nice editing software for images. Let me see. There was one more thing that I wanted to touch on before I actually exported this and showed you what it looked like. Oh, text box. Yeah, so you can add, this is one thing I didn't like, I wasn't too fond of. If you want to actually type text, you have to insert a text box. So you just move this here, I guess, and then start typing. Now, the reason why I don't think this is that great of a feature to insert a text box and do it like that is because on Notability, you can actually just click anywhere. You click on the T, and then you click anywhere, and then you can start typing. You don't have to insert a text box and go through all that nonsense just to start typing something. Now, we're actually going to export this as a PDF and see what it looks like. But before we do that, I'm going to go back to my categories. I'm going to show you some of the options you have, some of the settings you can customize for GoodNotes. So you have options here. You have a template library. This just shows you all your covers and papers that you can go through. Then you can do Wi-Fi file transfer if you want to transfer some stuff to your to GoodNotes. It gives you an address, I believe, and you just transfer it like that. I don't have Wi-Fi right now. I turned it off, so I didn't get any notifications. But essentially, I wouldn't use that anyway. I either use AirDrop. I would just have it on my iPad anywhere, or if worst case scenario, I just email it to myself, open it on my iPad and my email, and then open it with GoodNotes. Now you can back up your notes, which is really nice. Notability also offers this. You can back up to iCloud, Google Drive, which I'm doing right now, OneDrive, which Notability just got today, literally just got today, or maybe yesterday, but they just recently got it, which I'm really happy about, because I love backing up to OneDrive. And then you go through some of your settings. So let's just go through the settings really quick. So you have your general settings where you can import annotations in your PDF, cloud storage, etc. Your document editing stuff. So you can do automatic screen lock, status bar, pull to add page. I guess you can turn that off. Toolbar position, new tabs. That was also really cool. If you notice that there are tabs in the top here, so you can switch between your notes really quickly and move the tabs. That's an amazing feature that I think Notability should introduce also, and OneNote. So that's awesome. Palm rejection. This is kind of, basic stuff. Smart stylus. I'm just using the Apple Pencil, so you can turn off pressure sensitivity, which I guess is useful. Automatic backup. Like I said, I'm backing up to Google Drive. iCloud, I do have turned on, so I can use this on my iPhone, and my notes will sync across all my devices. And I think if I got it from, I don't have GoodNotes for my Mac, but I'm sure if I did, it would also sync there. That's all nice. So now let's actually take this notebook right here. Let's go to the first page, and let's see. I actually haven't done this yet, so let's see what happens when you export it. So to export it, I think you just click on these 3 dots on the right. Then you can clear pages. Let me just show that really quick, because that's really useful. So I'll just clear this page. You just click here, you clear it, and it's all gone, which is really nice. All right, so this video is going a little bit long, so let's just wrap this up really quick. Okay, so you can print it also, and more options. That's what I was looking at. Oh, here's change paper template. Here it is, guys. I finally found it. I'm sorry I got so confused, but you click on this paper. You say, hey, I don't want this white paper anymore, even though I already wrote text on it. So I wrote text here. They say, nope, I don't want this. You click on more options. You change the paper template. Let's choose guitar. Yeah, guitar score. I want to start. Oh yeah, I want to start scoring for guitar. Yes, change. Then you can start adding your notes. I don't know if guitar reads like piano, but this should be an F. This should be an A. That should be a C. And that should be an E. We'll just pretend it's piano notes. Okay, now finally, let's export this. So you click on export. Like I said, you can also print it, but we're just going to export it. Export all pages. Now here, this is where your settings come up. So I'm gonna choose PDF. You can also choose it as a GoodNotes document or as an image, which I guess is also kind of useful. Backgrounds, you can choose if you want to remove the background color, which is a great option that they let you do. Because yeah, I don't want my printer wasting yellow ink printing this background, so I'm gonna choose. I would choose blank, but for right now, I'm just gonna leave it as a normal. Remove background color, but I'm going to choose normal for now. And I want my annotation, so let's export this right here. Now I'm going to export this to iCloud Drive. We can just save it on iCloud Drive. Yep, that should be good. All right, so now I'm just going to switch over to iCloud Drive right here. But here we go. Here it is. Here is my beautiful PDF version of my notebook, and it has all my annotations right here. Some of these are going full screen, and like these aren't going full screen, so I'm not really sure why that is. It has probably something to do with the orientation. The orientation thing, it kind of bugs me a little bit, but I guess it's fine. But there you go. There is my lengthy overview of GoodNotes on the iPad Pro. My final thoughts, it's a really nice note-taking device, but I just can't see myself using it over Notability just yet. And that really, I know it's going to sound petty, but it really has to do with the fact that I can't just scroll down to see my next page. I have to actually swipe left or right. On Notability, it's a more seamless experience when you're going between different pages. and it fixes it changes orientation for you depending on how you're holding the iPad. Let me just show you what I mean by that really quick. So on Notability, so here, like, see this white line right here? That's a page break. But I can just scroll up really quick, see what I wrote, and continue on with whatever I was writing. So that's what I prefer Notability in that sense. Also, I prefer Notability's organization to GoodNotes' organization. I just think it's more their user interface is a lot cleaner. It's a lot nicer looking, and it's easier to click on your notes. But I am still going to be using GoodNotes as well. So what I will be using GoodNotes is for some. I'm going to be using GoodNotes for my problems, my textbook problems, and some practice problems or quick notes I need to take that don't need to be necessarily accessed at a later date. It's almost like my scrap paper notebook. And the only reason why I'm even doing that at all is because I already spent the money on it, so I might as well use it for something. But if you already have Notability and you like Notability, I wouldn't necessarily switch to GoodNotes unless you really need some of the features mentioned in the video, like a particular feature. Then obviously you would have to switch. But if you were just seeing if maybe you wanted to use GoodNotes instead of Notability, I would just stick to Notability because overall I still think it's the better note-taking app. But GoodNotes could easily beat Notability if it just fixed some really minor problems, in all honesty. It just cleans up its UI a little bit, and it fixes that page problem and the orientation. I think it would be a killer app. I mean, it already is a killer app, and it's cheaper than Notability. But that's it. That's my overview. I'm sorry for wasting almost, I think, like 30 minutes maybe of your time. But I hope you really enjoyed the video. I hope it was useful. I really want to make a full comparison video between GoodNotes, Notability, and OneNote at some point. I'll just have to find time for that. But until then, I'll see you in the next video.